Morgan Wade shares new photos. Kyle Richards reacts. Life has been pretty sweet for country music singer Morgan Wade. After touring across Europe with her BFF, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Kyle Richards, the Wilder Days singer is continuing to tour across the nation well into spring. But she's also making some time for herself. Morgan took to Instagram on April 10, where she gave a look inside of her life today, and they seem to be going well, as she's doing what she loves, working out, eating good food, and making some time to decompress with her favorite TV shows. In the series of photos, Morgan can be seen wearing a denim jacket and looking into the camera, texting people about her music, asking someone for their streaming service password, flexing her muscles at the gym, and eating a delicious-looking pasta. "Lil bit of life," Morgan wrote in the caption of the post. This glimpse into Morgan's life was definitely approved by Kyle, who liked the Instagram post and left a red heart emoji in the comments. Morgan Wade opens up about living her dream on tour. Shortly after completing her international tour, which Kyle tagged along with her on, Morgan took to Instagram on April 2, where she thanked her fans for coming to her tour dates. "We've traveled all over playing my songs, and I'll never take that for granted," she wrote. "Thank you for your love and support. And thank you to my wonderful band for leaving your homes and families to allow me to live out my dream. It's been an amazing ride, and I love you all so much." Kyle Richards shares new details on trip to Europe with Morgan Wade. Kyle also had a lot of fun watching Morgan perform in Europe and exploring cities that she had never been to before. Kyle took to briefing on Bravo Live on Tuesday, April 8, where she opened up about how she enjoyed the tour, which brought them to Amsterdam, London, Manchester, Dublin, and Glasgow. "Europe was great," Kyle said. "I always love Paris. I love Amsterdam. I love London. I had not been to Manchester or Scotland or Dublin before, and everybody was so nice. They were all great, such a different feeling for each place." Kyle Richards reveals why she didn't bring up Morgan Wade on RHOBH Season 14. After previously introducing Morgan to RHOB audiences on Season 13, Kyle did not bring her friend into the picture on Season 14. During Part 1 of the RHOBH Season 14 reunion, Kyle admitted that she felt guilty for bringing Morgan on during the previous season. "Morgan did not sign up for this show," she explained. "She does not want to be a part of it. She's not a part of the cast." She continued, noting that Morgan filmed RHOBH Season 13 as a favor to her. "What ensued after created a lot of anxiety for her, and she didn't ask for this life," Kyle admitted. "So I'm trying to be respectful of someone who didn't sign up for it." A little bit of life. The sun had barely risen over the hills of Nashville when Morgan Wade laced up her boots. A denim jacket hung from her shoulders, sleeves cuffed, threads frayed with stories. She took a sip of lukewarm coffee and squinted at her phone. Notifications flooded her screen, fan messages, tour updates, and one from Kyle Richards with a red heart and a laughing emoji. "Lil bit of life," she murmured, rereading the caption she'd posted the night before. It wasn't planned, just a spontaneous glimpse into a moment between breaths. And yet, in the echo chamber of fame, even the smallest ripple made waves. She tugged on her ball cap and slipped out the door, the morning chill slicing through the stillness. She liked these quiet mornings, when the world hadn't yet demanded anything of her. On the road again. Touring was electric, exhausting, thrilling, sometimes even surreal. After a whirlwind run through Europe, Amsterdam, London, Manchester, Dublin, and Glasgow, Morgan had returned to the States changed in ways she hadn't expected. Europe had given her more than adoring crowds and sold-out shows. It had given her clarity. Or maybe it was the late-night walks with Kyle under unfamiliar skies, when fame and expectation melted away, and they could just be two women chasing art, growth, and maybe something else neither had quite named. Kyle had been a grounding force in a life that often felt like it was spinning too fast. What began as an unlikely friendship, country artist meets reality TV icon, had grown into something more resilient. Not romantic, despite the rumors, not just a friendship either. There was a raw honesty between them, the kind that fame often tried to smother. "You good?" Kyle had asked backstage in London, as Morgan stared at herself in the mirror, earbuds in, arms flexing nervously. "I'm living my dream," Morgan had replied, then added under her breath, just trying to hold on to it. Fame has teeth. After Europe, Morgan decided to take things slow. Just for a bit. The gym became her therapy, pasta her comfort. Rewatching Breaking Bad while curled up in oversized sweats. Heaven. That's when she decided to share a little slice of it all on Instagram. The caption came out of nowhere, just the first thing that felt real. "Lil bit of life." The post exploded. Fans loved it, called her real, raw, relatable. Kyle, of course, was first to comment. Just a simple red heart. But Morgan saw past the emoji. She saw the support. The message was clear. "I see you. I got you." But not everyone reacted with such grace. The comments filled with questions. About Kyle. About them. The kind of questions that prodded and dissected until the joy of the moment crumbled under scrutiny. Morgan turned off her phone. Red carpets and boundaries. Meanwhile, Kyle Richards stood in her walk-in closet, surrounded by designer gowns and unread scripts. The reunion episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills had aired the night before, and the internet was buzzing. "Why didn't you bring Morgan back this season?" The question had come up at the reunion. Kyle had taken a breath, steeling herself against the judgment. Because she didn't sign up for this. The cast, the crew, the audience, they had leaned in. She had continued. "Morgan came on as a favor to me." But what followed? The headlines, the speculation, it created so much anxiety for her. "She's not a reality star. She's an artist, and I'm trying to protect that." It was one of the rawest admissions she'd ever made on the show, and it was true. The music between the silence. Morgan sat cross-legged on the tour bus parked in a dusty Oklahoma lot, guitar in her lap, silence all around. The European leg of the tour had been intense, emotionally, creatively. She missed the Scottish wind, the late-night bowls of ramen in London, and Kyle's soft laughter echoing down narrow hotel hallways. But more than that, she missed the stillness they found between chaos. That stillness had inspired a new song, something not yet finished. The chorus repeated like a prayer. "I don't need the headlines / just your shadow in the doorframe / I don't need the questions / just your silence when I break." She sang it softly, just once, before tucking the guitar away. Ghosts in the algorithm. Kyle was scrolling through old pictures, Amsterdam sunsets, backstage selfies, a grainy video of Morgan trying her first stroopwafel, when she saw it, a new DM. It was from an anonymous account. "You're not fooling anyone. Just admit it already." She locked her phone. This was the part they didn't talk about, the toll of friendship under a microscope. Morgan had her fans. Kyle had her world. And somewhere between the tabloids and Twitter threads, the truth had gotten lost. They weren't hiding, but they weren't explaining either. Because what they had was theirs, and that made it sacred. Law, lights, and love. 2 weeks later, Kyle flew out to catch Morgan's show in Los Angeles. No cameras, no interviews, just support. Backstage, she handed Morgan a bag of homemade cookies and hugged her like she hadn't in months. Morgan grinned. "You baking now?" Kyle laughed. "Don't get used to it, I had help." They didn't talk about the rumors, or the reunion, or even the Instagram post. Instead, they sat side by side in the green room, eating cookies and watching reruns of Seinfeld on Kyle's iPad. That night, Morgan dedicated a song to her favorite person in the audience. Kyle wiped a tear before anyone could see. Home is a moving target. After the show, they drove out to the beach past midnight. Morgan had always said the ocean made her feel small in a good way. Kyle stood beside her, the wind whipping through her curls. "Do you ever wish it were different?" Morgan asked. Kyle didn't have to ask what she meant. "Different how?" Morgan shrugged. "Easier. Simpler. Like if I was just some small-town girl singing in a bar, and you were just a woman who likes country music," Kyle offered. Morgan smiled. "I don't want simpler," Kyle said. "I want real." Morgan nodded. "Yeah, me too." A little bit more. Back in Nashville, Morgan finished the song she'd started in Oklahoma. She titled it "Lil Bit of Life." It wasn't about Kyle, not exactly. But it was about her, about all of it: the touring, the pasta, the gym, the sleepless nights, the laughing until you cry, the crying until you laugh. It was about not having to explain yourself to anyone who didn't already understand. And when it dropped a week later, Kyle was the first to comment. "We were never meant to be easy. They'd never defined what they were." But sometimes, Morgan thought maybe that was the point. Some things were too big for labels, too alive for categories. Kyle was her anchor and her storm, her calm and her chaos, her friend and her muse. And Morgan? Morgan was still just a girl in a denim jacket, living out her dream, one show at a time.